My 600-pound life, most insane transformations. Honestly, losing any amount of weight is pretty damn hard, so kudos to all these people,
These
I
are the
guess.
5 craziest transformations from my 600-pound life. So let's begin by talking about the now infamous Casey King, who looks like a completely different person since appearing on the show. When Casey was first introduced in early 2019, he weighed in at over 700 pounds or 315 kilos while living an extremely
700, I'm
sedentary
dead.
lifestyle.
A normal day for me, wake up around 12, figure out something I'm gonna eat immediately. TV, video games, bed.
It was obvious that Casey was extremely
That's the life,
disappointed with
boy.
how his life had turned out.
I never would have thought at 34 I'd be living with my father, have no job, have no real money, and just be playing video games all day and eating.
Which became even worse after he was told by a doctor that he had an express ticket toward the graveyard.
Stop
You're gonna
eating, bro.
die unless something happens here. I think that you're on the road to immobility, and when that happens, I think it's going to be a very short course.
Casey was then advised that he could get weight
Dude,
loss
that's gotta be
surgery
scary,
as long
like,
as he lost
being
a
told
couple
you're
of
gonna
pounds
die.
beforehand. And while this initially resulted in a boatload of family drama, it wasn't long before Casey was making an effort to lose the required 60 pounds. He instead managed to lose 80 pounds, being approved
Nice,
for weight loss
nice.
surgery in the low 600s, which dropped even further in the 2 weeks after completing the
Damn,
surgery.
son.
588?
Yeah,
Down to 588.
yeah.
You're pretty proud of
How do
that?
I
I'm
get
super
the hell
proud
out?
actually, it's pretty good.
You should be.
By the time the show had come to an end 3 months later, Casey was down to 525 pounds, and while this number was enough to impress his family, he was still determined to get lower,
My goal for next year is to be under 400. Ultimate dream, 250.
leading Casey to create his own YouTube
Damn,
channel
dude.
on which he began to document his progress.
I just want to make these videos to let people know real quick how I'm doing, because there's so many people that want constant updates or whatever. Almost down 250 pounds. I go to the gym 3 times a week to swim.
With every video, Casey's face was looking
Swimming.
slimmer and slimmer, and by October
That's the secret.
2019, only 10 months after the show had come to an end, he'd announced that he'd lost over 300 pounds.
We're under 400 now. We're 398 pounds. It's still a lot, but like I did a 5K, another one.
With this new weight helping him to land his
Damn,
first
dude.
job in over 10 years.
We have a job now. We are essential. We are employed. We now
That's
work for the
fucking
great
cool,
company of
dude.
Home Depot.
By the end of 2020, Casey was wearing a double XL t-shirt as he was now under 300 pounds,
We got on the scale a couple of days ago. It said 290. That's the lowest we've ever seen.
which in combination
Dude,
with a
look at
front
him.
page
God
Reddit post
damn.
gave Casey the motivation to get even lower.
Somehow I made it to 262. I literally weigh
Look how
less
good he
than
looks.
a third of what I weighed at one point.
However, was Casey's transformation as impressive as
Yeesh.
Christina Phillips, who holds the current
That was
record for the
very
most
impressive.
weight lost as a result of the show? When Christina first appeared on 600-Pound Life in
God damn. Are
2014,
those her
she
knees or
weighed in
her
at
tits?
639
No
pounds
offense.
and explained that she hadn't left her house in over 2 years. Dr. Now advised her that in order to be approved for surgery, she needed to lose 30 pounds in a month, yet she'd instead gain 17 pounds over this time period,
Uh-oh.
for which she'd have a pretty stupid excuse.
Instead of hoping that you lost 30 pounds, you gained 17 pounds. What happened there?
I think it's mainly fluid because I did good once I got back.
It's not water.
What'd she
For
say?
that,
My
you have
foot?
to drink at least 300 gallons of water.
As a result of the gain, Christina was put in hospital to be isolated from her family, yet her mother and husband snuck food in for her to eat, leading to a loss of only 4 pounds in the next month and a
How would
pretty
they do
dismal
that,
outlook
dude?
on her
They
potential
literally
to make
help
a
and destroy her.
transformation. However, approximately 4 months after her original visit to Dr. Now, Christina began to commit to the diet before returning to the practice with a whopping loss of 61 pounds, leading to her approval for weight loss surgery. By month 7, Christina had lost an even more impressive 120 pounds, with this
Okay.
milestone giving her the chance to walk again, which was going to help dramatically with any future losses. By month
Like
11,
knee
Christina
joint
was down to
issues and shit.
470
Oh.
pounds, at which point she'd be able to go clothes shopping, and by the time Christina hit 390, she was even driving herself to her own Dr. Now appointments. 390 pounds would mark the end of her appearance on the show, however, it didn't mark the end of her weight loss journey. To keep accountable while off camera, Christina created a Facebook page as well as an Instagram, posting photos
Get
such
that
as this one
motivation
only
up.
12 months after
Damn.
her episode had come to an end. 4 months later, she'd post another photo showing that
Oh
she'd gotten
my
down to a
God.
crazy 185 pounds or 83 kilos. And while this photo is over 8 years old now, Christina has managed to keep the weight off the entire time. Yet it was Diana who showed that another
That's
requirement
insane.
for long-term weight loss is the acceptance that you are responsible for your own journey. When Diana weighed in at 620 120
was
pounds
insane.
during her first appearance in 2017. She was so big that
This
they
lady
had
is
to call an
older, too.
ambulance just to get
That's
her into
probably
a hotel
harder.
room.
A major effect of my weight that I didn't really think about until I was on this road trip is my inability to get in and out of the van, much less the hotel.
Yet she was simultaneously loved by the audience for her unusual level of honesty. She's one of the better people I've seen on this show. She knows her weight caused her serious health problems, and she only blames herself and not others. Diana's positive attitude helped her to accept Dr. Now's requirements for surgery.
My expectation would be in 1 month, you should be able
feel like
to
I've seen
lose
that
at
man
least
before.
50 pounds.
Wow.
Probably from the
Okay.
show, huh?
All right.
Which is followed by a staggering loss in the first month.
You lost like 44 pounds.
I know. I'm absolutely thrilled.
And while this wasn't enough
Good
to have
job.
her
How'd she
approved for
do it?
surgery, she'd lose a further 64 pounds in the month that followed, meaning she'd lost 107 pounds or 50 kilograms before she'd even had the gastric bypass. After receiving the surgery, Diana was proud to announce that she was able to get into a car without paramedics.
I got here today not in an ambulance, but for the first time I rode in a van.
And after talking to
Oh,
a
yeah?
therapist about why she was overeating in the first place, Diana was able to change her habits permanently. After getting under 400 pounds, she'd go to the
Okay.
gym for the first time in 10 years, and by the time the episode had come to an end, Diana was down to 336 pounds. However, this was still only the beginning. Within a year,
Jeez.
TLC
Oh
confirmed
my
on their
God.
Facebook page that Diana had gotten down below 200 pounds, making her unrecognizable in comparison to the start of the show.
That's
However, if we're
crazy.
talking about unrecognizable before and afters, then
This
it's almost
segues,
impossible
bro.
to go past Justin McSwain. When Justin first appeared on 600
Justin.
Pound Life at a
Oh
weight
my
of
God, dude.
687 pounds,
Holy
he couldn't
fuck.
even bear to look himself in the mirror, yet he'd also state that the only time he felt relief from the stresses of life was when he was consuming food.
So what I do to deal with that and make all that go away
Be
is
eating
I
a lot
keep eating.
sometimes,
Food
too.
keeps all the pain and misery away. So I never really stop. It's the only way I can deal with it all.
His depressing outlook
Bro.
on life led to the choice that he was going to make a change, yet reaching Dr. Now was almost impossible as he couldn't even fit into the car they rented. When they would eventually reach the surgeon, Justin was given 2 months to achieve a pretty daunting
crazy.
loss.
I want to see 100 pounds weight loss in that time. And I want you to start exercising for at least 30 minutes.
Where do I throw
And
this
while he
coal?
couldn't quite lose 100 pounds in 2 months, he was approved for surgery with a loss of 92 pounds, which was followed by a further mind-blowing loss of 86 pounds while waiting to go under the knife. Yet this was apparently only the beginning, as within only months of the surgery, Justin was down to 395 pounds, earning him a dedicated YouTube upload given Dr. Now's astonishment.
That's almost loss of 200 pounds in a year. That's excellent. You're doing great.
Justin concluded the episode with 350 pounds of body weight and a tattoo to celebrate the journey, although it might have been
Hell
this
yeah.
piece of artwork placed
Oh,
next
shit.
to his fridge that motivated Justin to
30
go
pound.
even lower. He never gave out any weight numbers on Instagram,
Damn,
however
dude.
photos such as this one posted months after the show went live made it clear that he was keeping up the grind. In
That's
January 2021, Justin showed the world that he'd kept the weight off by placing his entire body in his old pants, with this achievement giving him the
Wonder
chance
how that
to meet
makes him
Diana
feel,
and
dude.
Christina, who we covered
Or
just
all of
prior.
them.
However, while it was somewhat obvious that Justin was
Putting
determined
in
to
one
lose
of
the
your
weight
old
from the
pant
get-go,
legs.
the transformation made by Paula Jones was a little more surprising. Paula was the 600-pound life contestant who went semi-viral on YouTube for getting fast food after a half-hearted gym session. And while this didn't portray
Oh,
her as
man.
someone who was going to be successful on the show, this couldn't be further from the truth. When Paula weighed in at 539 pounds during her first appearance, she'd explained that
539?
she was entirely reliant on her kids, as her husband had died 1 year prior due to weight-related issues.
Oh, man.
Fearing that she was headed for a similar future, Paula made the decision to see Dr. Now. However, instead of losing the needed 30 pounds for surgery approval, she'd instead gained 17 pounds, which was followed
that
by
other
nothing
girl,
but poor
dude.
excuses.
I don't know exactly. I mean, I know my legs are filled up with fluid right now.
However, after changing to a liquid diet and accepting the reality of her situation, Paula was able to lose 30 pounds and receive the surgery. However,
Hell
even
yeah.
afterwards, her habits were far from ideal.
Even after having weight loss surgery,
Still
there are still
eating.
some things that I will indulge in.
This, in combination with her infamous post-Jim McDonald's burrito, led to a small loss of only 10 pounds in the month that followed her surgery.
You only lost 10 pounds. What are you eating now?
Mashed potatoes?
There's no protein in mashed potatoes.
No, there's not.
Your weight loss has not been significant.
Haven't had mashed
However,
potatoes in a
apparently
fat
this
minute.
conversation with Dr. Now wasn't much of a wake-up call, as she'd returned to the practice the following month by instead gaining weight.
Look, he wants
It's
some now.
a little bit concerning because she's not losing weight. weight, and she's telling me that she's almost eating nothing.
Desperate to make a significant loss before the end of the show, Paula decided to meet with a therapist, after which it was obvious that something had shifted in her mindset.
I don't think I'll be successful in losing weight if I don't deal with these inner emotions that have been buried.
Within 3 months, Paula had gone into overdrive, losing an incredible 180 pounds while stating,
I gotta say that right now my focus is probably better than it's ever been.
and it's safe to say that this motivation continued long after the episode had come to an end. When Paula created an Instagram account 2 years after her appearance, she began to use the hashtag #My200PoundLife on photos such as this one, explaining that she'd lost 2/3 of her body weight. Paula's
That's
progress
insane.
gave her the chance to return to the
Look at
show
her,
in a
dude.
Where Are They Now segment, during which
Oh
she
my
explained that she
God.
now weighed less than her daughter, and her habits had stuck permanently over the long term.
That's crazy, dude. How the fuck? How do you even begin to start losing that amount of weight? Like, I'd be trying to get myself to, you know, like, just work out. That's more than enough of a deterrent. Be like, nah, dude, I'm lazy right now. Imagine them, dude. They actually have to put in so much effort. So that's incredible. I mean, they're doing it. That should be inspiration for anyone else, you know? Like, I know there's a whole movement going on right now. Like, I don't know, dude. I think we all need to worry about our health and our bodies. Our bodies are temples, right? It's the only one we got. It's what's giving us the opportunity to go do whatever we want to, so might as well treat it correctly and, you know, see what it's capable of, but not in a bad way, right? Not poisoning yourself. That's insane though, man. That's really good for all these people. It just kind of sucks that you're gonna have all that extra skin and shit, but I mean, nowadays they can get rid of that with surgery, right? That's still really expensive, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if you're gonna get that big, you know? They did it. They all fixed it themselves by working out and eating good, so it's doable. It's not impossible.